Dude, hit me with it.
Welcome to. I feel like this is the sixth or seventh episode of What You Getting Into, the podcast where we talk about what we get into. I'm Dion, and my intro 3 or 4 weeks ago was much better, but I'm eating Popeye's chicken, actually Popeye's chicken fries, and Peyton has some Halo Top ice cream, which he'd like to tell you about.
Yeah, so as I said right before we started hitting record, Hilltop ice cream, only 330 calories, 6 or 7 grams of protein per serving. Not the best tasting ice cream. It's not terrible, but you've probably had better ice cream before in your life. But if you want a healthy late night snack, reward yourself with some good dessert. So, yeah, Hilltop ice cream. Also, this podcast is brought to you by Sparkling Water. Not any particular brand, just the concept of sparkling water. It's delicious, tastes good, quenches your thirst.
I'm not sure I've ever been like, yo, let me get some ice cream tonight. You know how that's down bad hours before down bad, eating ice cream at night, just crying into your Jet Li movies.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I kind of feel like crying. I've had probably the crappiest 36 hours of my life.
Well, that's depressing, but let's go there. Let's go.
So that's obviously an exaggeration. I've had a pretty bad run, the past day and a half. So I'll go ahead and hop into it here. So a couple episodes back, Dion shared with us his extravagant story about him going to Utah for a little Zan concert. Well, I went to a Zoo concert. So for those of you not familiar with Zoo, he's a house DJ and he performed at Red Rocks. Basically on Saturday, it was like 85 degrees here in Colorado. Beautiful, nice weather out. I was cleaning my apartment. One of my coworkers invites me out. He's just like, hey, man, we got to go sit outside and enjoy the weather because capacity is starting to open back up for a lot of bars and restaurants. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm with it. It's a nice day. It'd be a sin to stay inside and just clean. So we go out there. We watch the Kentucky Derby like some true Midwesterners.
Yeah, that's a wild thing to say with a straight face.
Yeah, man. I mean, I know little to nothing about horse racing. I just root for the horse that has, in my opinion, the coolest name. So I wanted Midnight Bourbon to win. Midnight Bourbon did not win, so pretty disappointing. Drank a good amount though, in the nice summer weather or spring weather, I guess, that kind of imitated summer weather. And while we were at this place, watching the Derby, my coworker tells me, he's like, hey, I got tickets to go. I'm going to go see Zoo on Monday. Like, man, I've been wanting to see Zoo for a while and I haven't been to a concert since Valentine's Day weekend of 2020. So well over a year. And I was like, dude, I'll buy a ticket right now.
Go to a J. Cole concert, Neo. Who'd you go see?
It was a rave on Valentine's Day. I saw this group called Black Tiger Sex Machine, and they are A1. It's a lot of headbanging bass. Good stuff.
Let's show. Okay, so you went to go see Zoo, though. Zoo.
All right. So first off, the weather yesterday here in Colorado was not outdoor weather concert at all. It was that kind of mix of cold rain with like a little bit of snowflakes dipped in the middle. So I called my coworker after work and was like, hey, man, I just got back from the physical therapist. My shoulder's feeling good. What are we doing? And he's like, oh, I'm downtown at our other coworker's place right now. I was like, all right, bet I'll be there at 7:00. So 7:00 rolls around, we roll out there. And he orders an Uber out to Red Rocks, which is in Morrison, Colorado. Quick side note, Red Rocks is one of the most beautiful outdoor venues because it's literally in the mountains. You have these two gigantic rocks on the sides of where everyone's sitting in the amphitheater. You look at pictures of this place, it looks beautiful. That was my second concert there. It's like my fifth time ever being at Red Rocks. So I was hyped. I was with it. So we get there, get in line, we all get a drink, and then I guess we were meeting up with all these other coworkers. Now, granted, I'm friends with my one coworker that I was with, and I'm going to remain nameless because I'm pretty heated at this individual at the moment, which I'll get into here in a second. But met up, and there was like 8 to 10 of us, and we're 14 rows back from the stage, and I just kind of wandered in, got my wristband. I'm like, yeah, all right. Well, so the headlining act's not over, so there's still the opener act going, and I move a couple rows closer to the stage because, I mean, I'm a concert goer, I'm a raver. Like, I go there to have a good time. I'm not there to congregate or socialize with people. I went there like they're just standing around, bobbing their head, drinks in hand, you know, trying to do other paraphernalia and what have you.
Quit snitching.
Everyone out there does it. I mean,
Does what?
well, it's actually they do recreational drugs, which are not illegal in this state. So not really snitching,
You snitching.
Anyways,
in this podcast right now, they're gonna be snitching.
hey, I've said no names. I've said no crimes. Anyways, here's where my bad luck starts. So security comes by, has to see my wristband, and I show them. They're like, "You're supposed to be up there." And I'm like, okay. Like, and I just walk a couple rows back to my coworkers, and I hang with them for a little bit. And the same guy comes by, he's like, "Hey, you got to be up there, row 37." And I'm pulling out my wristband and showing them, like, "Are you sure?" And I kind of look around at my coworkers, wasn't trying to snitch on them or anything, but I was just alluding to the fact, like, I came here with these people, like, and the guy just kept telling me to move. So I walk back up, walk back down, and my coworkers pull me like, "Ah, dude, don't worry about it. Just hide your wristband. They don't care." The guy comes out again. He taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "Let's go, like row 37 or whatever." And I look around, and this guy singles me out of everyone. Now, I'll admit that I was wearing like a tie-dye shirt, bandana. I had candy on my wrist.
Yeah, you look like a straight up high schooler.
No, bro, I look like a straight up raver. Actually, everyone else was there in their North Face
outside of high school. Sorry.
Okay, guys. Dion has not been to very many raves in his life, as you can clearly tell.
Where do you make tie-dye shirts at high school? There's no adult is like, let's come over and let's make some tie-dye.
You haven't been to a rave, and it shows. That
I've
tie-dye,
been to 1 or 2 raves, and I haven't seen any tie-dye.
All right, well, you need to save up for an EDC ticket in the fall. And we'll go, and you'll experience that plus much more.
You're gonna get kicked out by security again, so I don't think so.
Knowing my luck, I won't doubt that. So anyways, I go up a couple rows, watch the remainder of this opening act, and I'm just thinking to myself, man, I should try to sneak back down, but something tells me if this guy catches me a 4th time, he's just gonna kick me out altogether, which I don't know. So anyways, remainder of my coworkers come up to the higher stands, and I guess a couple of my coworkers were leaving because I guess the snow was a little too much for them, so they all left early. Well, as the headlining act Zoo came on, the inclement weather just kind of stopped. It was a little chilly, but I mean, you're moving around dancing and all that sort of thing. You know what, hold this thought, because it's really bothering me what you're talking about my outfit. I'm going to show you the shirt I'm wearing. It's in my room on my futon.
You don't have it. No.
I'm getting it right now. Entertain the people for 5 seconds. Hold on.
All right, you're gonna see the most embarrassing lack of drip. I mean, oh my, is there? Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, I see why this man got in trouble. Oh, ew.
That is what I was wearing. Okay.
So, yeah, I see why he got in trouble. He was like, boy, if this guy, no swag. I know he couldn't afford these tickets down here with that no swag. Boy went to the Walmart and got him a kitty tie-dye shirt. And then, like, whenever someone says nice cat shirt, you're like, thanks, I got a cat at home.
I did get like at least 3 compliments on my cat shirt.
Probably from people with colored hair and anger problems.
I don't know. So I had that bandana on and candy on my wrist, dude. I looked like a reaver for inclement weather. Trust me. All right. So anyways, Zoo comes on. We're all in the back. We're all having a good time. We're all dancing, all that sort of thing. We're all drinking. I know how to pace myself when I drink, and I learned the hard way. And I'm sure you can attest to this through our years, in our early 20s, very late teens, being in Evansville, Indiana.
Snitched again. That's the fourth snitch.
Are we really not going to talk about this here? Are you so concerned
with? You just told everybody be underage drinking.
This man is worried about something he did 10 years ago, for the record.
Dang, you named the years ago too. Name where it was too. Snitch. You just came. You came ready. Are you wearing a wire?
All right. So the point I'm trying to make here is typically when people are in college, it's their first time drinking. They learn their limits.
On every college student, okay.
Well, because this is a surprise to you, a good amount of college students drink. Very good amount. Some are even underage.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I thought this was a widely known fact, but apparently binge drinking in college is news to you. So
yeah. All I did was play board games in the community center. Sometimes I went on walks around the trails with my friends, and most of the time we just played Xbox 360 and we played Halo 3.
I don't think I've ever seen you play a Halo game before.
It's because Halo sucks.
We're getting too far off topic here. Anyways,
yeah, like go back to you're dancing around, you're getting jiggy with it in your cat shirt, and everybody's like, look at that guy getting jiggy with it in his cat shirt.
What I'm trying to make here is everyone who has attended here was of legal age by a few years. Okay. So everyone was there legally drinking, could drink. The issue that I have is if you are over the age of 22 and still don't know your limits, you got to work on yourself. I mean, I don't feel like there's much of an excuse for that. If, those men who are like 35 years old, they drink too much, they start punching walls, they're ramming their head into things. those people have issues. Okay?
That'd be sad. Like maybe your mid-20s is kind of funny, but a 35-year-old is like, come on, man. Like, ain't you got a mortgage or something? Like, don't you got a couple kids? Like, don't you gotta wake up early to like, be grumpy in the morning and change the thermostat? Like, what are you doing?
Exactly. Well, so my coworker that I went with, this original guy, this guy is 6'2", 150 pounds soaking wet. So he has the alcohol tolerance of a 14-year-old girl. And I won't use what's that face for?
That was a weird analogy.
Well, I'm just saying, like, he has no tolerance. I didn't know how else to put it. So, anyways, throughout the night, this guy's just acting wild and abnormal. Really weird. Anyways, the second to last song plays. I hear this song and I tap my shirt. I'm like, hey, I'm running to the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back here. So I run out, use the bathroom, come back, and he's gone. And so is everyone else. And the concert ends. And I'm like, okay. So try calling the dude, doesn't answer his phone. Texting him, doesn't return any of my texts. I'm waiting down by where like the exits are towards like the stage area, looking around, don't see him or anyone else. And it's starting to get colder, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't know, maybe he's somewhere in the bathroom, I don't know. So I go out to the parking lots, calling this dude, no answer. Texting him, nothing. And I'm just like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? It's 11:30, 11:45 at night. It's really cold. I'm stuck in the, up in the mountains. And there's like these pockets of people throughout the venue that are all trying to like order an Uber. And because of all the cell phone signal interference, no one can get an Uber. And at one point he like answers his phone, but it's like a I don't know what you call it.
A
Like
butt
I guess
answer,
yeah, like it
pocket
was in his
answer.
pocket answer, and like I can hear like this muffling in the background. And I'm like calling his name and he's not answering. I'm like, well, crap. Call him back, nothing. At this point, it's around midnight. Calls me and then he actually calls me and I answer. I'm like, dude, where are you? And he just kind of mumbles something incoherent and then hangs up. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, my phone's on 20% at this point. I'm looking around, like, people are leaving one by one. It's super dark out. And I'm just thinking to myself, what am I about to do? Like, I have like no signal out here. My phone's going to die. I'm stuck in the middle of mountains, 30 minutes from my destination. I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'm going to have to literally go through my phone and like call individual people and see who's awake at midnight on a Tuesday morning to come get me. And I was just like, man, I cannot believe this is happening. Like, I cannot rely on people ever. So, long story short, I'm sitting near some bench, and I overhear some people talking about trying to get an Uber. You know, I ask them like, "Hey, are you guys trying to get an Uber too?" I've been trying for a while. I was like, "Yeah, we're trying to go downtown." And I'm like, "Oh crap!" Like, so am I. And they're like, "No way. Where are you supposed to be at?" I was like, I'm just trying to get downtown. Like, if I can get downtown, I can. I'm not sure I'm kind of the southern side of downtown, but if I can actually get into the city, I'll be fine. They're like, "Oh, we're from California. We're staying at this place here." And it was a group of like 4 people, and I kind of just stuck with them from that point forward for like the next hour. Walking around trying to get it. I'm on my phone trying to order Lyft. They're trying to order Uber, and we end up walking down this humongous set of steps. And I don't care how good of shape you're in, you're going to be winded by the time you get down these steps. So we one thing that we've all what we were that they were experiencing out there is we would get matched with the driver, but they would cancel immediately because of 2 reasons. There's a shortage of drivers, and number 2, what a lot of the Lyft and Uber drivers were doing is they'd have people come up to them and then offer them cash over whatever the price of Uber Lyft was, and offering them that money to actually take them home.
That's a
So we
dirty
do.
move.
Well, I mean, I understand it, but yeah, it is very dirty. So what ends up happening is this group that I'm with, they run up to this Uber and they ask them like, "Hey, we're trying to go downtown," and the guy's like, "I'll do it for $200 for a 20-minute ride." And they all looked around. They're like, "All right," he said, "It'll take us for $200." One person's like, "I got 120 on me." Everyone's like, "Oh, I got this, I got that." They're like, "All right, let's go." So I Venmoed one of the people $50, and it's about 1 a.m, and I'm finally getting to downtown. Still no sight from my coworker, still no call back or text or anything. I was like, wow, this guy is the biggest POS I've ever met. Like, I kind of want to just choke this guy next time I see him. So, anyways, I get downtown. Then we get dropped off at the hotel, and my car's parked about 2 miles away. So I hug them, thank them, tell them to go to Denver Biscuit Company in the morning because it's like the best place in town to get breakfast. So I grabbed one of those Lime scooters. Had a pretty nice, 10-minute ride to my car. Get to my car and I drive home. And I got about 7 hours of sleep. So the concert was fun. Everything surrounding the concert was pure terribleness. So what are your thoughts on my story?
Yeah, sounds like your coworker kind of not the person I would. If I would have saw him getting too drunk, I would have been like, bro, like what you on, homie? Like, cause like leaving, that's the worst thing. Like, did you ever figure out how he got home or anything like that?
Yeah, I did actually. So he ended up leaving with the other coworkers. So I guess none of them except for him had any idea that I came there with him. I was supposed to leave with him because they all came in separately. So he kind of just left with them and forgot about me altogether.
It's embarrassing. And this dude's over 30.
No, he's in his mid 20s.
Well, yeah, I would not even see, like, that's my thing. When like someone does something, like I don't care like how drunk you are. It's like, yeah, if you do certain things while drunk, it's not an excuse anymore. Like I always just like, all right, you're gonna act wild when you're drunk. Goodbye. Gotta cut him off. Probably not the best idea to hang out with him again.
Yeah, I'm not ever going to do that ever. Like that, I will never put myself in that type of situation with that individual ever. Like that's just straight up unacceptable. Like he's a like I said, I know we have to keep this very, you know, appropriate, but I have a very good amount of synonymous words that I could use to describe this person. Um, he just can't handle himself and just goes off and is inept at just about everything when he drinks. So
Yeah, one of those people that's like thinks it's a movie. Like, nah, man, you gotta like alcohol's a social lubricant, I guess, but it's like you can't be doing all kinds of nutty stuff, especially like in a public situation like that. I I think I went out on Saturday night. I went to a party with some of these people. Well, no, I got invited by one girl, and then like when I get there, she didn't really. It was weird because it was like a kickback. It was a party. There was like 7 people there, and then like she opened a door for me, and then the whole time I was there, she barely talked to me. So I was like, "This is weird." So like I talked to everybody else in the party, and then I ended up leaving to go downtown. So I was like, "Yeah, this is I don't understand her deal." She texted me like, "You shouldn't have left." I'm like, you didn't talk to me, so I skedaddled. I beat feet. I really pittered the patter. I kicked rocks. So yeah, I ended up going downtown on Saturday night, and it was kind of boring. So I went home. Like I'm not feeling this, dude. Like this is not it. But then on Sunday, man, oh man, they were like, hey, I just got the text. Hey, let's get mimosas. It's nice out today. And I'm like, yeah, it is. So I ended up going to a downtown area near the baseball stadium, and they had this little vintage festival. So I walked around the vintage festival with some nice wine, and then we got to drinking, and we were drinking, tequila and cider beers at one restaurant. Then we went to this other restaurant right around the corner, got some more tequila, some mimosas, something called a mint jepu or something like that, a mint something with a J.
that's the drink of the Kentucky Derby. I had a couple of those on Saturday.
Yeah, it
It's
was like
a mint
bullet.
tulip, or I think it's what it's called.
Yeah, julep.
Mint julep. There we go.
Yeah, like those things are kind of disgusting, but they did the trick. And then we were like, all right, let's go down to the Arts District. So we were in Summerlin, which is like a rich area. Then we're like, let's go down to the Arts District. So we go down there. By that time, I'm starting to feel myself a little bit. I'm getting a little bit saucy. I'm starting to, it's coming out. It's coming out. Everything's coming out. So like I eat some carne asada fries, and my friends went to this other bar. And then like once I met them in there, I just slid. Started talking to this girl from where was she from? Some state. I'm not gonna name the state, but I infiltrated the friend group, made
Oh,
friends with her.
try not to snitch.
Yeah, like I'm just telling a story of some nice. Okay, I'm not whatever. She's probably never gonna see this. She was from Cleveland, yo, and she was probably the prettiest
Snitching.
girl from Cleveland, but like that doesn't say a lot. Just, she was all right, but I've done better. Anyway, we end up leaving the arts district. So we went from Summerlin to the arts district to Fremont Street, and then we ended the night at the strip club. It was wild. Like we started at 2 p.m. I didn't get home till like 4:30, bro. Like I was really out in them streets. I had I would say a $500 day.
And 450 of that was spent at the strip club.
I wish, because that means drinks would be very, very inexpensive in this city, and they are not. Now, it was a $50 entry to get in there. And at that point, I was just rolling around with the gang, and I was like, man, I didn't want to, like, I never want to go in there. That place sucks. And then, like, $50 is ridiculous. And then, like, they were wearing masks, which, I don't know. I guess, like, if I'm going to see a stripper, I need to see her face because like I was just like, what the heck is this with the mask on? Like this is no, wasn't feeling it at all. But hey, I had a good weekend, because like I had to cut off a couple people that I was, conversating with, talking to, and like I'm just like right after them, like boom, right there, back out in these streets. So I think the more of the story here is you'll find a new friend to leave you somewhere, or you won't.
No, nah, man. I for now on, when I go out to Red Rocks Amphitheater, I'm driving myself every time. Like, I don't need to get plastered to go to a show.
On a Monday
So,
night like a hooligan.
yeah, and parking is free there, so it's a not that bad of a drive. So, I don't know. I'm never doing that again. I'm never relying on someone else for a long distance road trip for a ride.
That's not a long distance. That's 20 minutes, bro.
It's a long distance ride. I consider it a road trip because it's like a whole nother country over on there. Like it's crazy how like the mountains are separate from the city. Like we have a mini Vegas out here called Black Hawk, Colorado, 45 minutes away from here. We have a ton of casinos, nice hotels. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, speaking of festivals, we're going to Hard Summer in San Bernardino at the end of July. Going to see Future for the third time in my life. I'm super excited about that. Probably going to cry a little bit because every time I see Future, I be crying. You gonna be crying when you see Future?
Probably not. I mean, he's probably cool to see in concert, but I mean, he's not like a favorite artist of mine or anything.
Yeah, actually listen to Logic and MGK and who else?
You
Lil Xan.
couldn't be any more false. You're the Little Xan fan. How many
You
times
you
have you seen Lil Xan?
I mean, how many songs? It's less times than Lil Xan songs you can name.
I would never spend more than $1 to see Lil Xan
How
or
much did
even
you
listen to
spend
Lil
to get
Xan.
left in the park?
Ticket was about 125, and then
Oh,
the $50 Uber ride home that I had to chip
dang.
in along with out of the 200. So kind of sucks. But
125. Yeah, I could go to a 2-day festival for that. Like, geez.
well, you don't have any venues that are anywhere as nice as Red Rock, so
And I bet it was nice
that has
out
a lot
there
to
at
do.
night, looking at the stars and stuff and wondering how you're gonna get home.
Yeah, I definitely paid the price for that, and
You're like, where's my cat at?
I actually was missing both my cat and my girlfriend because she wasn't there either, and it just didn't feel the same when you're truly alone, stranded in the middle of nowhere. You know, things hit you different. You're just like, what am I going to do? You've never been stranded alone somewhere, not knowing anyone around you, not knowing what to do. No signal on your phone.
You catch me walking till I get signal. For dang sure, I would start. You said you're out there for like 2 hours. Wait, boy, I would have walked 2 hours until I
It
got some.
was it was about an hour I was walking around, and then I met up with the people that were visiting from California. They were cool.
Yeah, Californians are usually pretty cool.
Yeah, they I understand the whole living in California. They have this like or come together mentality to like live, survive, and that sort of thing. So I appreciated that type of
Yeah,
hospitality. They kind of just tell them like, hey, I'm just trying to get downtown. Like I'm not no particular spot. And I said, I'll pay you guys. Like
that's
I'll
the
throw in.
Vegas thing. This is what Vegas has turned into. Like people are straight up trying to move into one bedroom, like two people and two dogs. Like, yo, like you need somewhere. They'd like stay in the living room all day, but still, it's like, geez, like no, like cause I'm still trying to rent out my room, and no to a lot of people. You're nutty if you think I'm gonna let like you and your two cats move in here.
The thing is with dogs, and maybe this is because I've grown up my entire life with a family dog and we always had a yard. I think you have to have a yard if you're going to own a dog. Like keeping them cooped up inside of a studio apartment or even a one bedroom is you're doing a disservice to the animal. I mean, they're literally not by nature made to be living in those type of quarters. They need to run around,
Yeah.
sniff things, pee on them.
the crazy thing. Like people are just like, you know, you got a pet before you should have, and now you want everybody else to like just accept it. As I was at the dog park the other day, and I was talking to this lady, and we had to talk about getting your finances in order, and I don't know how we got to that at the dog park, but yeah, we both came to the same conclusion that like a lot of people are going to be rough by their 30s, just like doing stuff like that, where it's like, all right, you wanted a cat, but like you should have, made the decision to get it when you're in a secure place that you're gonna be living for a while where everybody accepts your cat. But now you gotta like take a cat with you everywhere you go, and you're talking about you can only afford, a little amount for rent. It's like number one, like that's not enough for rent, and it was definitely not enough if you're bringing a cat along. The cat costs extra, like cats, like you can definitely so the event I was at this weekend, like they're like, there's a cat in the room or whatever. And I'm like, where's he at? And then like they're like, come in this room. And then like I look in there, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's definitely a cat in here because like there's all the scratches on everything and stuff. He just prickling his paws and stuff, just walking around. Cats smell like pistachios. Why your house smell like that, cat?
Why does my house smell like pistachios?
Your house smell like biscuits. Cats smell like an old Cheeto. Cats
My
smell like
my
a
cat's
Frito.
looking at the computer like, what is this nonsense? This guy, look at him. He got up. Come here. My cat says otherwise. He does
Smell
smell sometimes because he weighs about 13 pounds.
'em. Where'd you get that cat at?
Um, so I actually was researching cat breeds, and I'm very particular in the kind of cat that I wanted. So I was looking for a Norwegian forest cat or a Maine Coon. Upon finding out that it, costs about a grand to adopt a full bred Maine Coon, I was having second thoughts. And then Shelter posted an ad, this at the time 6-month-old kitten was part Norwegian forest cat and part Persian blue. I went to go visit him. He was a rescue, very shy and skittish. And I adopted him. And the most frustrating thing about owning him was it took me 2 months for him to let me pet him. Anytime I tried to pet him, he'd run away or scratch me. And I wanted to like give him back at one point, but now we're like this.
All you did was smell pistachios for 2 months and you didn't even get to touch the cat. Like that sucks, man. Like my dog been cool since we got him. I have been hanging out with someone with a puppy, and I was like, man, I do not miss puppies. Like that's something that's never again. Like I'd rather have a kid than a puppy. Like what I get out of a puppy? Nothing. A kid, at least, will take care of me when I'm old as long as I play my cards right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take more than playing your cards right, but that's
Man, these TikTok kids, they're all talking about like uh, I can't believe like I saw this video of this girl over 30 talking about her grandpa was watching a movie she didn't like, so she told him he can't watch it, and then like he was like, go away. So she moved his car. Like, what is wrong with you? You're over 30 living at home with your grandpappy trying to tell him what movies he can watch in his own house. TikTok is a curse.
I actually really enjoy TikTok. It's some really great funny videos on there, similar to Vine, and it's for all types of humor. Like if you like, real dumb, petty humor, it's good. If you like really dark stuff, that's just, borderline messed up, they have stuff for that as well. You're ranging from political views. I know you follow probably the Kevin Samuel clips that, pop up in my feed sometimes because
I
I'm
don't
just thinking,
follow anything on TikTok. Kevin Samuels is just on YouTube and Instagram, and you tune in there. He gives you some hard dirt.
well, I mean, I guess my phone's spying on me because he'll be showing up in my feed. I'm like, what? I've never searched this man. Like, what is going on?
Chinese, man. TikTok's a Chinese app. It is a spying app.
But and then like there's a whole set of TikTok that talks about fitness, and like good foods for dieting, that sort of thing. That's why I bought this Halo Top ice cream.
I'm sure, like in the comments of those videos about dieting, it's a war zone.
Oh, I love reading the comments.
Yeah, like the comments and like the unfortunate people who post TikToks, where it's like, what are you doing? But for TikTok, everybody's loving it. There's like, you're so beautiful. I love this for you. I love it. And then like someone comments, the men in these comments. And then the men in the comments are just leaving like the puke emoji, like that shit be clowning. Like, why y'all going back and forth on TikTok like that? And that's a funny thing. Is like I can tell who gets into those gender wars on like social apps and stuff because they're just awful to deal with in person. It's just like, what? Why are you so hostile right now? It doesn't work. I was remembering a time a couple months ago where like this person like got in my car and was just hostile the whole time until I was finally just like, be quiet. It's 2 a.m. I'm driving you home. Like, and like you're just a friend of one of my friends. So it's like if you didn't want to ride along, you didn't have to. Like, I'm not really even talking to you, like you're just, complaining the whole night. And then like you want to play victim when like someone finally tells you to be quiet. Like it's like I'm sure on the internet some white knights would have ran to the rescue, but like that doesn't work in person. That's why I like to be out in person as much as possible. Like internet's not for me anymore. It's just a echo chamber, like bizarro world.
Yeah, it's a lot of people who don't get out and socialize much
Yeah.
either.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
they're just like, oh, accept this, normalize that, accept this, normalize that. Like, all right, go to your local venue, right? And just stand. I actually saw that. I went to this thing called Stadium Swim here in Vegas. And yeah, there was an individual who was just like, standing in the middle of the pool, just looking around like no one's gonna come talk to you. Like, mm.
that's weird.
I'm sure on TikTok you got big ups on them comments all pandemic. You gassing you up because like that's the thing. Like some people be so gassed up. It's like you know you don't want to hurt their feelings, but at the same time, it's like you're the one creating a toxic environment. There's so many times where I've been like hanging out talking to someone and then their friends just sitting there quietly or like on their phone, mean mugging me, whatever, like, or just says something slick or like an insult, just something. And then like we'll go to the bar, me and the one I'm actually talking to. Then you see the friend, you buying us drinks? Like, I'm not buying you anything. Like, and then like they get mad, like they really get mad and try to shame me. And like that doesn't work in person. Just sit there quietly like you were before.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to hang out with less and less people.
Yeah, it gets annoying. Like man, there's so many times where be hanging out with people and then someone like, "Can I play a song?" Like I'm like, "No, like I'm not gonna take your music request." Like that's super rude itself. Like you know, a song's playing, like I don't even know you, you haven't talked yet, and it's like, "Can I play a song?" No, and then like, you keep talking, like I didn't say anything. Like yeah, that's a sign of disrespect. I'm always like, I don't take song requests. No, and then like they just keep talking. I don't take song requests. Like, oh, and then like the third time they usually gets to him. So I'm like, do you not understand what I'm saying? Like, and then like that's where they get like, oh, ah, ah. I'm like, well, you should have listened the first time.
I don't know.
Nobody
I
likes
don't
a tag
so
along friend.
I don't associate myself with those people. I'm sure as heck ain't gonna tag along ever.
Yeah, it's super weird. It's like, I guess, man, but like once your friend gets snatched up, like where I'm talking to her or whatever, I don't think she's too interested in and that's usually the thing is like they think like the friend's gonna walk away or whatever if like I don't kowtow to them too, and it's like nah, I'm being polite to everyone but I'm also being assertive, so like nah, not at all. I will not buy your friends drinks.
Oh, never. I don't buy anyone drinks unless they're coming to the place with me. I'd be like, hey, I'll get around. But I feel like that's such a rookie mistake, meeting someone at a bar, club, and then offering to buy them
It's
a
not a rookie
drink.
so if you talk to them for a couple minutes and stuff and it's going well, that's when you would get the
Couple
drink. Well,
minutes. Oh no.
that's a placeholder, like not if it's go, look, I've been doing this longer than you. I know what I'm doing, but like, yeah,
How
definitely
much
not
money
the
have you
friend.
wasted on drinks for other people? You're like, damn, that was a waste.
I mean, I've wasted money on other things. Like, it's whatever. Like, how many people have you kissed named Perky? Like, who cares?
Why are you snitching?
Name what?
You're snitching. You know,
Nasty boy.
so speaking of bars and clubs, there's one other thing I've kind of wanted to bring up, but I had this thought on Friday. Well, someone that I have added on Snapchat was going to some club, and they're Snapchatting, like them by like the bottle service table, that sort of thing. And one thing that I've noticed is that every time you go out to a club or someplace relatively nice, the women that go out are almost all like 98% of them are always dressed up. They spend so much time doing their hair, makeup, getting an outfit, high heels, a purse and matches. And the dudes that they go there with are in like Jordans, a t-shirt, and a backwards hat. Like there's a huge discrepancy in fashion between men and women when it comes to this sort of thing. Like
Yeah,
the
because
dudes don't even try.
the dudes are paying for it though. That's the thing. Like, they don't have to try. I mean, it'd be cool if they did dress up, but it's like, yeah. I mean, the women are gonna come there, take their pictures and stuff. Probably not even show the dudes who took them and whatever social media posts, but they will accept the free drinks and bottles and status of being at a table. So it is what it is.
I don't know.
It was more for them than the guys, you know.
I feel like if I'm ever to go out in a place like that, I in the past 2 years, I'll admit I've slacked off a bunch with not dressing up because my work has a very casual dress code, or I can come in flip flops, jeans, and a hat every single day. But I feel like everyone
You
needs
be
to know.
wearing flip flops and jeans and talking shit. You dress
Not
like a youth
jeans, no.
pastor.
I don't know. I have some Nike flip flops, usually some joggers on, and a hat, and I would go into work. And we're a mainly male dominated workplace. No one dresses up nicely there. The women do,
You just be having your
but
feet out at work,
yeah, I shower every morning, so it's not like I have like
having your hairy
stinky feet.
toes out just at work.
I trim my toenails. I wash myself. I mean,
Oh, I would not. I'd be like, does this man have his toes out right now?
it's commonplace. Sometimes I'll wear the socks with flip flops, sort of thing.
I just got some Birkenstocks for my grill. You know, I'd be out there grilling in the sandals, but that's it. You know, I ain't gonna wear that to work. When I had to go into work today, and I put on some boots, some khakis they're like blue. I forget chinos. I put on some chinos and a polo. You know, got that slim thick and the polo look. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Well, my workplace is a very casual dress code. I don't see it ever changing. So usually I don't really put much of an effort to getting dressed because it's just not needed. I'm not trying to impress anyone.
See, and that's what they're doing at the club too. See,
However, when I go to the club, now I haven't been to a club in over a year, but when I do go out to the club, I actually put a little bit more effort in that sort of thing. I'm not wearing a backwards hat. And if I am wearing Jordans, the Jordans are going to match the rest of my outfit.
You wearing Jordans to the club?
Yeah, man. I got a pair of the Retro 7 Bordeaux's.
You're
I
really
would wear
talking circular logic because you're talking about wearing Jordans to the club. You look as goofy as those dudes.
not even close.
How did you not get in the club in Vegas?
I was wearing Yeezys, and you didn't tell me that it was one of those clubs because I didn't bring with
You
me
should
like any
always
dress
dress
up
to
clothes.
impress when you go to a club. I've
Well,
never gotten kicked out for dress code.
You gave me zero forewarning. Absolutely
I
zero.
wouldn't think that anyone's gonna be like, "Hey, we're going to the club. Let me put on my best Yeezys." All right, you guys gotta go.
I thought we were just gonna go out and have fun, and my Yeezys matched my shirt. I was looking fresh.
Yeah, Yeezys never look good. I've never seen anybody be like, "Oh, that guy has some Yeezys. I think he's cooler."
I got complimented. My Yeezys got complimented when I was in Vegas. I don't know if you noticed, but as we were leaving, this guy's like, "Nice shoes." Like, hey,
He was
fellow
pointing at me.
sneakerhead. No, he wasn't. I promise you, he was not. I remember exactly who it was because as we were leaving, that's the guy. He was like, "Bro, nice shoes," because I
Yeah,
think
you're
he had
talking to
on.
me.
No, he wasn't. No one's gonna compliment you on your generic black dress shoes with the square toe.
It's called Oxford.
Your square toed Oxfords. No one's complimenting you on that sort of thing. Like, come on now.
Everybody compliments me. I be drippy. Look at the hair, man. Like, ooh.
So, anyways, my point is, I actually put more of an effort when I go out. I don't wear if I'm wearing Jordans. I'm actually like having the Jordans match the rest of my outfit. I'm not just throwing on a t-shirt, some jeans, and a hat and trying to show out.
You're showing out in your Minnesota Timberwolves jersey.
Hey, if it's one of those bars where it's, I guess, a more of a. I hate to use this term because I think it's very naive to use, but when people say it, um, is more of a frat culture type bar.
Oh, so you're going to the bars with like nickel beers in a Minnesota Timberwolves jersey and some Jordans at the age of
Heck
30.
yeah, but that's
You're
my
too old
jam.
for those places. You need to go
That's
to
my
lounges.
jam.
Nope, you're too old. You're too old. You
How
got
are
to
you gonna
start
tell
going to
me?
lounges, where you can sit down and have a conversation. Like whenever I go in a bar that crowded, I'm like, dog, this sucks. It blows. Like it's just crowded as heck. People are trying to fight and stuff. Like it's just like, dog, why am I even in here? Like I could go do bad all by myself somewhere else. Just like when it's like when you see someone who's like, opposite gender too damn old, you're just like, why are you why?
I don't know. I like those places.
I bet you do. Flexing on them college kids in your Minnesota Timberwolves jersey. They can't
Yeah,
afford Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys. They can't afford Kevin Garnett jerseys.
I have a Carl Anthony Towns jersey. You want
They
me to go
can't
get it?
they can't afford Kevin Love jerseys.
They can't, man. That's why I miss Bloomington so much because there's bars full of that.
That was a college, and you were in college.
Yeah, and I went the year, was it 2 years after college? I went again for a little probably just 1 year. No, I think it was the year after college I went. Then at that point, I was like, all right, I'm a little too old for this sort of thing. Like, I
That's what
need
I'm
to
saying.
tone
Listen
it
here,
down.
man. You need to, up your social circle, and you're not gonna meet a up social circle and a college bar. You will not. You'll meet some
I'm not
dudes.
gonna expand my social circle within a bar setting. What kind of low lives like, oh, let's go somewhere where you can all drink together and become best friends? Like, what?
Welcome to the United States military.
Well, as someone who never served in the military, I can't say I relate to that sort of thing.
Hey,
I
that's what we
got
did.
I got my group of friends out here that I hang
Where did
with.
you meet your homies at work? All your friends are your
Then,
coworkers.
oh hell, no, 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 no. I have a couple coworkers that I will occasionally hang out with outside of work. This particular coworker, I hung out with him a little bit more than the rest. I regret doing so now. Um, but no, it's mainly my baseball team that I'm on. Like, we're always in the group chat talking with one another. Anytime there's a fight going on, we're at someone's house, meeting up during the week. Those are my friends. I actually met them 2 weeks after I moved out. No, 1 week after I moved out here. So those are my guys. Those are my bros. Love those guys. But if we're going out somewhere, like, I'm not going out like to a bar to like make lifetime friendships. I think that's kind of weird, honestly. Like, yeah, you go there, you strike up a good conversation. Maybe you get on a topic with someone else. You're like, hey, maybe we should, talk at a later date about this. I can understand sort of that sort of thing, but I don't seek out that sort of ordeal. I feel like that has to kind of happen organically.
It happens organically as long as you're able to talk to people and like, yeah, some people I'll get their contact info, some people I won't. And we'll either hit each other up later or we want, or we'll see each other out again or we want, it's just cool. Like I think I have like friends that I've had in the city for like 7 years. The people I went hiking with today I've known for several years. But it's always good to meet new people because other people rotate in and out of your life for sure. Like I've had to rotate a good amount of people in and out of my life this year. It's just like, oh, probably never see you again, and all you do is just respond to my social media posts with weird hate, and it's just like, all right, yeah, you gotta skedaddle. You're kind of weird. And
I'm
like,
more of a long lasting friendship sort of guy. I'd rather make a small amount of friends and then be my friends for a while than rotate this in and out sort of ordeal.
I mean,
I
I
don't I
always
don't
have
mess with
somewhere to
people like
be, or
that.
like groups like that. Like, yeah, but like if I'm looking for something new to do or like going and try somewhere new, of course I'm gonna meet new people in there. Cause like sometimes I go by myself if no one else wants to do it. So I'm like, screw it. Like I gotta talk to people or else I'm gonna stand in the wall on my phone. So yeah, let's get it. And like that usually ends up me having a good night. Like, I mean, I was talking about the other night where we were just going out for mimosas, and then by the end of it, I'm hanging out with a group, and we're having a good old time, buddy, like several venues away. But it is good that you brought your car. Always bring your car. That makes you a commodity.
I guess. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not someone who's gonna try to go out every weekend and try to make new friends. I think that's kind of
I'm
weird.
not there for friends.
Yeah, you are. You just
Not
explain how you find a group and you're like, oh, and I'm gonna go here, here, and here, and like I'm just
Yeah, that's not, why I'm there.
I don't.
Definitely not to get left at a Lil Xan concert like you.
I didn't go to a little Xan concert. Like,
You
let's make
paid
that perfectly clear.
$125 for a Lil Xan concert. That's wild, bro.
This was a zoo concert.
You said
Someone
you
that I
had
would.
wild podcast material before Monday. What else happened?
Oh, what else did happen? I've had the past 5 days I've been out. Like, I need to catch up on some sleep severely here. So, yeah, so I went bowling with um other coworkers on Thursday because it was free. I mean, my boss made Jello shots, ordered all this food, paid for like 2 hours worth of bowling. Um, that was cool to do, I guess. I didn't really have to pay for anything, so we went through about 9 pitchers of beer. All took a shot of tequila. Tequila is awful. I don't ever want to drink that again. Um, I had chowed down on some food. And then everybody's like, "Oh, let's go to so and so's house," and I'm like, This is the part where I'm going to leave for the night because, yeah, that's uh, good indication this night can only go south. So that was Thursday. Friday, I just hung out with like one of my teammates and like had a couple beers. We threw the ball around for a little bit. That's all that was, and then
Dang, he was your father. You let him be your dad like that?
what?
You guys went out in the backyard, threw the ball around like he was your father?
Yeah, man, we do long toss. No, we well, since we do play baseball, we have to throw a couple times during the week. We gotta keep the rotators cuff loose. We're all getting older, more susceptible to injuries.
Y'all really do
So
meet up and throw the ball around?
yeah, we sometimes we'll hit, you know, sometimes we'll go to one of the indoor facilities, go to the
Pause.
batting cages.
Y'all be hidden about it?
Yeah, bro.
You be hidden about it?
And be hitting,
You
be
be hidden about
fielding.
it? Ugh. Oh yeah, I don't really do much during the week. Like today, I ended up, hiking, but otherwise, like I just gym, hang out, work on my mission, my goal in life, and then on the weekend, that's when I get out there and I get jiggy with it. So I make sure my weekends are fun and exciting, and I wake up on Monday morning and I'm like, wow, I'm never doing that again, and not do it again the next week.
So what's your goal? What's your mission?
Build this podcast. What do you mean?
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were working on that throughout the week, but I had to ask. I thought you were going on in some other tangent, so I wanted you to expand on that a little
Oh
bit.
no, yeah, like I finished college, so I have a lot of free time, and I don't like to watch TV. So I figure, I mean, I got to work on editing and stuff, and getting better, like clipping out the best parts and creating their own separate videos for it, and then putting it onto some platforms. But y'all know, one day I'll get to it. At least we're recording these podcasts, boys.
Well, I mainly wanted to, I guess when I texted you, I had that idea about how women, you know, overdress men when they go out. And I was thinking, maybe everyone, me in particular, needs to step up their fashion game because I've been slacking the past 2 years because, like I said, I don't really have any reason to impress anybody. I've just been chilling.
I don't know, like, so I usually dress up very well when I go out, but on Sunday I was wearing I just went to the team store for the D, I don't know what's it called, AAA baseball team here. I went to the team store and got like a jersey, and I ended up just like, screw it, I'm gonna wear it out, because I went home for a second, then came back out, and I was like, I'm gonna wear this jersey out. And I mean, I
And
was
you're going
still
to
on
get on
go
me
mode.
for wearing a jersey. Now look at you.
No, that baseball jersey's dripping though. Las Vegas Aviators. I'm going to a baseball game on Friday too, the opening night. I'm excited. I'm about to be hype out there. Watch some AAA baseball. Like, how can you have a bad night watching AAA baseball?
You don't. I grew up watching AAA baseball. Now I watch the major leagues over here.
Dang, that's lit. Like, I mean, the tickets were like $18 for this team. I'm like, dang, that's kind of, and I got bad tickets. Like, everything in Vegas is expensive.
Yeah, and it only gets more expensive when you get to the higher leagues. You know, Rockies tickets are expensive. I usually buy the day of because it's usually people that either have season tickets or bought tickets and can't go, and they're just trying to get rid of them. So I can get some pretty good deals, pretty good steals. I'm going to another game next Tuesday. They're playing the Padres. Padres are a very stellar team. They got that man Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oh, San Diego. Yeah, I saw a video of him on YouTube for some reason. I know exactly who you're talking about.
That man is lethal. He's 22 years old, just signed one of the biggest contracts. Like it's oh my god. He's phenomenal.
Nice,
So
nice.
I'm gonna see him. But all I was gonna ask you, when it comes to fashion, I'm donating a lot of my clothes to Goodwill, so I need to upgrade my wardrobe. Where would you recommend our listeners go for fashion inspiration, advice, that sort of
Uh,
ordeal?
Fashion advice. You can follow Instagram accounts that like men's fashion. It's just like dudes who take pictures of themselves dripped out. You know, you like look at that and take some fashion advice. Also, like there's YouTubers. Alex Costa's a good one who gives some fashion. Jeremy Fragrance is one for cologne. uh Dang, there's a couple, but really the only fashion tips you need is fit over fashion. So people will wear like very expensive designer brands, and then like they don't even fit right. So if you're gonna get something expensive, make sure it's tailored to you. And if it's not tailored to you, go to your local tailor and get it done. It costs a couple of dollars and your stuff's gonna fit a lot better, as long as you stay in the same shape and everything like that. But yeah, and then like I think like there's good cheap fashion. So I will always go to Target a lot to get some good stuff. That's like t-shirts are like $6, and they fit a lot better than any regular t-shirt you're gonna get anywhere else. Like the t-shirt fits up the bicep, which that makes your arms look a lot better than those saggy booty ass t-shirts that like people be wearing, like those Hanes, like, and then they come out trying to be dripped out in some Hanes. Like, no, just go to your local Target, get a $6 t-shirt that looks great on your biceps. You don't have to go to anywhere expensive to have good fashion. You just have to be trendy and stylish, and be able to own your swag. Though, like, some people like stay trying to roast me, and it's like, dude, you're wearing your best Captain America shirt right now, but I'm not going to come back at you, because that'd be punching down. So just like, whatever, man. This is me. This is what I'm wearing. This is what I'm doing, and it looked good, and you know it.
So where do you recommend someone goes for shoes?
Uh, Stop buying Jordans, number one, and I recommend you get yourself at least one pair of Chelsea boots. Uh, I've been shopping at Steve Madden a lot, but yeah, you need some nice leather shoes in brown, some Chelsea boots, and then maybe a pair of black shoes. There's a Kevin Samuels video about the shoes you need, like the six types of shoes you need. Like they can be casual, they can be anything that you need them to be. Like these shoes that are like leather, and I bet you get a lot more compliments than the J's that you're wearing. Like anybody can wear J's. There's no barrier to entry to wearing J's. I mean, there's no barrier to entry wearing other types of shoes, but you look a lot classier. In those shoes than you do in some J's. Like, seventh graders are wearing J's. Seventh graders ain't wearing them shoes I got down there. They ain't wearing they might be wearing some Chelsea boots, but they ain't wearing monk boots. Monk boots be going hard.
So what's your opinion on Chet Hanks and White Boy Summer, where he says no plaid, we ain't trying to look like a picnic table, no boat shoes, and the shorts have got to be short. Like there's got to be enough room between where your shorts are on your thigh and where your kneecap is. What is your opinion on this sort of thing? Have you heard his White Boy Summer announcement?
I saw something funny on Facebook. This guy, oh yeah, I saw the White Boy Summer thing. He was like, I got a feeling about to be a white boy summer. And it's funny because like they're like, this is Tom Hanks' son, but it's like, then why is he like that? Like, that's the funny part. And yeah, I mean, that's some good fashion tips. Like plaid in the summer, like short sleeve pad has always looked goofy. Boat shoes, I haven't really like. I've gotten some new Sperry's. I haven't really rocked them. 'Cause, yeah, they don't. No one's really wearing them anymore. And yeah, I even like when I'm at the gym, I already wear like 7 to 9 inch shorts, so they're above the knee already. And then like I'll fold them down one time too, so like they hang at the thigh level.
I don't know how
Like
I feel about shorts that short. I don't
you'll
really
be
like them
fine.
that
Like
short.
nah, it's like early 2000s was like a weird time for a lot of homophobia and the way people were dressing. So it got so bad that they had tall tees and stuff like that. So as clothes get back to normal as they were in like the 90s and the 80s, not really the 90s either, like the 80s and 70s, like again, like a lot of homophobia and stuff. But then you look at like fashion cyclical. So like all these trends from back in the day are coming back. That's why long hair is coming back, beards are coming back. Like there was a time where dudes are like crew cut, clean shaven, baggy clothes. Like that was the drip. And now everything's coming back. And the people like as I was out this weekend, I saw a lot of people with long hair, and then like some of them that I followed on social media or whatever. They didn't have long hair before the pandy. Everybody's growing their hair out and stuff. It's gonna be an interesting summer, bro. It's gonna be a not a white boy summer, a city boy summer.
It's the start of the Roaring 20s.
Yeah,
Everyone's so tired of being cooped up in their homes because of the pandemic. So places are just going to rage. It's going to be
yeah.
crazy.
I've been seeing like videos on YouTube of like this guy who interrupts people's Zoom classes and stuff. They have, like Zoom dance offs and like Zoom stuff like that. And like people are actually in the Zoom dance. I'm like, that's sorry as heck, bro. Like I will never like do you remember at the beginning of the pandemic people were having like Zoom happy hours and stuff like that? Like I'd
Yeah,
rather drink
and
alone, bro.
sadly, I got pushed into participating in one of those, and I dipped out early.
Yeah, it feels like in college when the RA would come around and try and make you do something. That's about as bad as a Zoom happy hour.
Yeah, I agree. It's super lame. Kind of dumb. I was totally against it, and then my boss like kind of begged me to participate, and I did. And then this was back like right after the lockdown started. So I got off work at 6 o'clock, hopped on, and I think at like 7 o'clock, that's when everyone around the city would like howl outside to pay tribute to like the nurses, doctors, and other frontline health workers. So it was weird being on a Zoom call, and then as everyone just starts howling out of nowhere and sticking their head out the windows, and I was like, all right, this is a little too weird. I gotta
Man,
get off of
Denver high
this.
as hell for howling outside. Like we didn't do that at all.
It was weird. People are definitely unique out here. There's a really I don't even want to use the word diverse because there's really not a diverse ethnic pool out here, but people and their beliefs are all over the place out here. I like it, but at the same time, it's just people are on all different ends of the spectrum here.
Yeah, and then like as much as like it's bad and it's good, but a lot of people are on drugs at early ages now, and it doesn't help a lot of people. Like you're not getting more creative. You're yeah.
So I actually had someone ask me about that sort of thing. So long story short, I was at one of the baseball facilities that I go to, and one of the guys that works there runs an amateur wrestling ring where they're I don't want to they're legit. I mean, they stream on Twitch every week. You have to pay like $5 to watch their stream. Um, and so now, as I was warming up, one of these wrestlers asked me, he was like, "Hey, man, how old are you?" I was like, "I'm 28." He was like, "So, back when you were a teenager, you got depressed. Was that like kind of a cool thing?" And I'm like, "No, I mean, uh, I just kind of looked at him like, why are you asking?" He was like, because I guess this guy was like 22, 23. So I guess the point he was getting at was, I guess in like the younger generation, maybe it be the younger millennials all the way into Gen Z. I guess it was kind of trendy to have a mental health issue and be prescribed Xanax, Adderall, Ritalin, or whatever. Like I guess
Yeah.
that was like kind of a cool thing to do, which
Like
it's
Juice World and all those rappers were doing that, like pushing that culture and stuff. And yeah, a lot of them are now some of the ones I met are, that same age range. And they're just they're like, do you want to come to okay, so funny story. I think it was Friday. Met up with my cousin again because I like to make mistakes. And uh first of all, he was like, I forgot my ID. I'm like, he lives like 5 minutes from place we're at. He's like, do you think they'll let me in? Like, no. And he's like, the friend with him was the one that made me angry because like he was like, no, I'll just slide you drinks. Like, no, they're not gonna let you in. You live 5 minutes away. Go get it. Like, we'll just sit at the table. Like, don't be difficult. And then we go in there, and then the guy's like, he walks off for a second. So I think he's gonna go ask like about seating. But he's like, no, there's a table over there free. I just sat at it. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's go over there. Cause like I was like, all right, they didn't say anything when you said there. Was like, no. We get over there. There's like signs on the table like, don't sit here. Blah 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 blah. And he still sits at it again. I was like, dude, there's signs on it. And then like, of course, the people at the place just were like, you can't sit there. So like, me and the person I went, I was like, all right, let's go. Like, I'm not even dealing with this anymore. Like, within 2 minutes, this guy's just an idiot. So it's like, idiocy is very big too, where these kids just are trying so hard to like flex nothing. Like, what did you gain by like not? You're too scared to ask the hostess anything, but like you go and sit at the table, and then like you get kicked out, and then you just look stupid. Like everybody looks stupid right there.
and then they try to act tough, like, oh man, they try to make some comment like, man, that person gets shut up, right? Gonna listen to them. Like, you look like an idiot.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like I don't even want to be around you anymore because I'm sure it's not gonna be any better. Like you're not gonna calm down if like you can't even like ask somebody if we're able to be seated. We didn't even get that far before they started wilding. It's like, dude, I don't want to drink with you. Like, I don't know if you're already drunk, but you're just, yeah, like these young dudes are something different. And it's like, dude, like, that's not a flex to anybody who's like actually, putting in the work or doing anything. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's I guess this is just generationalism. It's constantly the not younger generate older generation make fun of the younger generation, but this maturity gap here is just kind
Yeah.
of glaring to people like us who are in our later 20s and just
Yeah.
realizing these kids in their early 20s are kind of stupid and still got some growing up to do.
Yeah. And they're not moving out as we did. They're staying at home just doing nothing. Like I went to two fast food restaurants today, and both times like they were just I feel like there's a lot that's wrong with customer service nowadays. I keep mentioning that, but yeah, fast food restaurant twice a day, and they were just like sluggish and just didn't want to be like. Obviously, you don't want to be there, but it's like, man, you're not even like trying to hide it, just moving very like, here you go. Then just like a long stare, and then just close the windows. Like, okay, cool, man. Like, you
Yeah,
can't
and
even
even
say like thank you or anything. Like, I was like, thank you. You didn't respond to it. Like, word, all right. Like,
yeah, and on my once a month trip when I go to like a Taco Bell or whatever, I'll notice that the drive-through workers will have like their AirPods in and like be on their phone. I'm like, geez, like show a little bit more enthusiasm and attentiveness to your work. Like you mess up my order, like I'm gonna, notice right away. Like
yeah.
I don't drive away until like I look and like make sure that they get all my stuff. Is my order correct?
Some people are like they can't. I was like scrolling through TikTok today, and it was the weirdest thing. They're like, "This is mental health psych ward TikTok," and they're actually in the psych ward making TikToks. And then like all the comments were like, because they say depression's trendy now, mental health issues are trendy now, and people are commenting like, they took my phone in the psych ward. I can't live without my phone. Just like all the comments are just like, oh, they let us have phones in there. Like, dang, like the attention is that bad, or you need attention that bad that like you needed your phone in there to do what? To show everybody you're in a psych ward? Like, nah, like your social media addictions are driving you to the literal psych ward, like your addiction to people who aren't really, in your circle and stuff, or whatever it is driving you to, and you're dancing. Like, that is crazy. TikTok is nutty to me. Like, uh did I send you that video of that girl who pulled out her dead snake and then cried over it on TikTok?
I don't think so. You
So
sent me
she,
some weird one earlier where like these two girls were dancing. I'm like, where's the punchline here?
oh, is that the one in the psych ward?
Maybe that was that the psych.
Yeah,
Let me pull it up right now because I watched it and I just
they
when
said it
did you
was
send it?
psych ward. Yeah, so like there
Oh,
is this.
welcome to Psych Ward TikTok. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
was
that's insanity.
wow, that's crazy. I was wondering what that was there. I was like, why did you send me this?
And
This
they
isn't
look
even
young too.
funny.
It's like, dang, like, yeah, it's not funny. It's like, dang, like, the world may be taken over by some people who can handle it, but it's going to be brought down by a lot of people who can't handle it. Like let me finish this story about the snake girl. So, uh, it's either she set up, her camera to do a TikTok and noticed her snake was dead, and then like brought it out quietly, put it down, set it up, and then started like, this girl was wailing, like screaming, like she ran in and found, her parents murdered or something. It's a dang snake. Or she, was screaming the whole time and still set up her phone to do it. And then she like put sad music to it and like edited the words and stuff like that. And like, yo, that is insanity. Like, you were overdoing it. And then like you put sad music to it and like, ugh.
That reminds me. I actually saw one similar to that where some girl, I she just she's her fish tank is right here and she's leaning against it and she just goes, I'm so sad my fish died. And then she just starts twerking out of nowhere. And I'm like, what is this? Like, you're just like, oh, I'm so sad my fish died, and you're just like shaking your butt. And I'm like, what? What is this supposed? What's the appeal here?
Yeah, like luckily I haven't really dealt with anybody who tries TikTok. I actually know one person, but otherwise it's like, and like I wasn't good friends with them, so it's like, it's really funny, like because like I don't follow anything, but sometimes it'll show me like from your contacts, and like I keep seeing the same people. They've been on TikTok for like over a year, and it's like, dang, you haven't hit once. Like a lot of people, like they'll hit like one good video and then go up like 10,000 followers or whatever, and then
Right.
like they'll think like, I'm TikTok famous. Like, no, everybody gets there eventually, but like the people who haven't, it's like, who is this for? You have 2 likes on this and you're just dancing. Like, that's embarrassing in itself that you're just being a straight goober copying off everyone and you can't get any traction doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. Like you're a copycat killer, but you're not doing anything. Like, dang, that's awful. Sucks. I would
So
pay for advertising.
I've been watching this psych ward TikTok, and just from some observations, both these girls have dyed their hair multiple colors, real baggy eyes, in like pajamas.
Teenage drug use.
Yeah, that I think it screams that out to me. I mean, when you go to um Morris Road in downtown Indianapolis, this is the kind of things you see where there's meth busts that happen uh throughout the year in addition to shootings. But yeah, that's actually really sad.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
sad. Like they have like a lot of access to drugs now. Like it was all right. So when we were younger and may or may not have been underage drinking, when was the first time you ever even saw a bottle of Hennessy?
I 20.
Yeah, like remember I've been waiting to try Ciroc since August.
Oh
Yeah, like
yeah.
we had to drink like Burnett's, $6 Burnett's, and we pulled it with like people and stuff. Like we were like, all right, I'll throw in like $1.50 and stuff like that. These kids nowadays, well, like my funny experiment was I bought a bottle of 1942 Don Julio, which is like a $200 bottle. I finished it. So I refilled it with some other tequila. And every time someone tastes it, like they're just like, oh, I'm only drinking that from now on. Like people get so spoiled and stuff. Like, so they're like, oh, I'm trying drugs at like 14, 15. Then they can't stop. And like they think like that's gonna like eventually you gotta stop doing stuff like that. And like most people will, do that maybe in their 20s or in college or something, then they stop, But like you're starting at like 14, 15, and like by 18, 19, I bet you're gonna be crazy. Like I bet like that's gonna really affect you mentally. I've seen people who are like, 26 and they can't even write something coherent. It's just like, what are you
Oh my
talking
god.
about, man?
So I actually read somewhere that during your teenage years, I think it's like when you start discovering your vices and you start forming habits that shape your adulthood. For example, I played a little bit too much guitar in my teenage years to the point where I neglected some of my schoolwork because I'd rather play guitar. Um, and other people, maybe you play a ton of video games in your spare time as a teenager. Maybe you have some other hobby. Well, in this case, drug use is this sort of thing for a lot of these teens. They're like, oh, it's after school, parents are gonna be home for a couple hours. I'm gonna smoke some pot or I'm gonna pop a Xan. And then yeah, when they become a young adult, those habits and vices kind of accumulate. I don't know the exact terminology on this. I'm gonna actually look up this article, but I read that the sort of thing forms in your teenage years. So when they become an adult, they have those same sort of vices coming back. And for a good amount of them, yes, it is drug use. And it comes back and just messes them up.
Yeah, it's sex. Like means your circle is usually drug users, especially the ones who are like, those are the people I really can't be around. Where like on Tinder or something, they'll be like, boom, just name like too much stuff, or like, whoa, 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 like you just can't say that out loud. I remember one time I was at the community pool at my house and I had some girl with me and I was like, hey, don't talk about whatever you're talking about outside right now. Like my neighbors hear stuff. It's like, I don't give a like, yeah, no, you can't come over here anymore. Like that's cool that you don't care, but like you don't care that other people like can be affected and brought down by your choices, then like yeah, you need to stay away from me. But that's a lot of these kids nowadays. They don't care what they post on TikTok and stuff. There's like whatever is lit. Like if I get, however many likes, I will say or do anything. Like I saw someone fart on someone's eyeball for TikTok. Like it's just why?
Yeah, I've seen the prank where one of their someone's sleeping and they just like I think it's like two or three people just grab a ton of food and they wake up the person, they throw a plate of spaghetti at them. And as they wake up, they dump a whole bottle of Powerade and then they throw a birthday cake on them. And then like maybe they dump a bottle of Sprite on them and it just keeps coming and coming. And I'm like, my God, like who would volunteer for this sort of thing? And B, if it was involuntary, I mean, those are grounds for fighting. I mean, can you imagine if someone woke you up and just dumped a bunch of random stuff out of their fridge on you?
Yeah, you be sticky fighting.
I'd still fight. I mean,
Yeah, like
that's straight up
that's not cool.
unacceptable.
Like, yeah, it's like people like they do things to you nowadays, and like they just expect you to like let it fly, or else like you're the bad guy. It's like they always can like call you toxic or abusive or something like that. Like, nah, dog, like I just didn't let what you did fly, and that makes me talk whatever. Like, cool, peace out. Like, it's like there's always the like. A lot of people like want to make those excuses nowadays. I did this because like you shouldn't have did it. Like I don't give a crap why you did it. Like you should not have did it or said it.
Yeah, I mean, it's that maturity standpoint, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, speaking of TikTok, I actually saw a real good one earlier. It was like this one counselor. He was like, you know, parents will come to me and say like, "Oh, my kid does this or that." You know, they're in their room all day. They won't go out and get a job. They won't help out, or they're acting reckless. And he goes, "Yeah, you know, I'll help you out. I'll give you advice. I'll, you know, coach your kid into becoming a better person. But realize at the end of the day, all roads lead back to you, the parent." So it
Yeah,
makes you
I'm
think
definitely
that
like gonna if and when I raise kids, like it's definitely gonna be like you gotta stay on top of it. Gotta like my mom took me to the library and stuff and made me get books and didn't let me play video games as much. But as I got in my teenage years, I did. But like these kids are being raised on iPads and stuff, and like they're like I see like the little depression Olympics in the comment section. Someone's like, my I didn't have an iPad or something growing up, or it's like what? Like, man, like you could ask these kids like, hey, what as long as you're going without meals? What as long as you're going with like your power out? Stuff like that. Did you grow up with cable television? And the answer is yes to all of that. Like they ain't living that rough usually, and like they're
not at
the
all.
more depressed than ever. They have their phones and stuff. You're in constant communication with all your friends and stuff. Like if you didn't have friends, you usually didn't have friends back in the day. You had to get on RuneScape or something to make some friends. But otherwise, like once the day was over, I remember like I got an invite to my first party, and I didn't even get it because like the phone line was off or something like that. It wasn't off, but like we weren't there, like we were on the internet or something. So we went to the answer machine. I didn't get to go to my boy's New Year's party. Like that would never happen for a kid nowadays. But like they just they want to like it's like why do you want to be depressed all the time? But it's because like they see it as they don't have to do anything. Like if they can like, play that card. Like I have that with like someone in my family where I was reading some book where deep down they know like it's never going to be a free ride like this as it is in their parents' house. So they just act wild in there.
Yeah, it's yeah, some people just don't grow up at all.
Yeah.
And they get kicked out of their parents' house, you know, they're living with like five roommates somewhere.
The people who say I'm adulting today, awful people, just annoying. People say you're never too old to like eat Lunchables and post a picture of it. Like, dog, just eat a Lunchable. Like, you don't need to tell everybody you're doing childish things. Like, and they stay childish. Like, they stay like, oh, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Like, because you spend your money on stupid things and you won't buckle down on your finances. That's probably why.
Exactly. It's you know, they don't some people are just not taught financial literacy ever.
Man, it's sad. They're like they want everything that they see, but it's like, all right, luxury items are just that luxury items. Only a certain, amount of people can get them. But now we live in a world where a lot of people are able to get like, luxury items like the best cell phones and stuff like that. But uh everything else in their life is going to ish. But like, all right, you got your likes up and you have a nice phone, but that's it. That is really it that some people have. I had a good conversation with someone this weekend who with their dad, like they traveled across, most of the 50 states. That's the experience that a lot of people don't get, like, traveling with their parents and doing stuff like that. And they were a much more grounded person than these kids who just, you know, look for attention all day. Like that's the embarrassing thing, the ones who look for attention all day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I don't
I,
know.
I know grown adults like that too, who are like they have a very high opinion of themselves. And it's like, all right, you know, you think that you can say that whatever, but like once you start throwing the insults or like trying to act like you're better or something like that, that's when everybody around has an issue. Like when you start saying like what are you saying right now? Like who? Like I had someone invite themselves to like my social plans and show up and like just act weird, and it's like okay, but like you didn't have anywhere else to go to the point where you invited yourself here, and that's not the first time you've done it. But like you act like you're too good to be here, and like you get like no, you clearly aren't. You clearly have nothing better to do. And it's like I don't understand the flex of that. Like if I, especially if I invite myself, 'cause that's wild in itself. Like always like, what are you doing? Where you at? All right, I'll come out. Like, cool, come hang out. Like that's fun. But then when you get there, like you have a issues, like okay then. So that person's cut out of my life.
Yeah. I think I need to do a little bit more cutting out. And I think after this weekend, I think I need to just kind of put my foot down and that sort of thing. It's just frustrating because people being my coworkers, I
It's a
see them
freeing
more than
thing,
I
man. Like
see.
I promise you that.
Yeah,
Like I don't
yeah.
know. I think like during this year, like I haven't seen anybody I really did want to see. And then as we open back up, I still haven't really seen any. Like I saw this guy that I met at a rave a couple months ago, maybe three, maybe longer than that. So I met him a long time ago, and we followed each other on Instagram. But like I saw him in line at this bar I was going to, and like we noticed each other right away, dap each other, we're cool and stuff. But yeah, usually I don't see people again if I don't get their contact info and like make plans with them. I don't see them. Like I live in a city of like 500,000 plus people, so it's like we don't work together. I'm not gonna see you again. So if like we just stop meshing or whatever, or like one of us feels like the other one disrespects each other, like okay, then peace out. Like I don't like I'm not one for cutting off long-term friends that you could work it out with, but like some of the newer people I meet are just like, yeah,
Oh yeah. It's best to cut that off, nip it in the bud as soon as you can.
nah,
Um, the thing is with your longer term friends, you have periods that you can go without speaking to them, let the both of you cool off, and then try to later reconcile. I think that's healthy and completely normal, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, if it's someone new, if you're already having issues,
yeah.
don't
I
even
don't
waste your
think
time.
it's ever an issue with most of my long-term friends because like most of us came from same spots and stuff, and we know each other too. And it's these weird new people who will try and disrespect you, and then it's like, do I want to punch down? And sometimes I really do. I will punch down on them, and then just like they're shocked and appalled that like someone said something back. But it's like, hey, you made this interaction hostile, and then like once someone says something back, there's an issue. But like no, like I don't care if I see you again. So whatever, let's do it. And that doesn't help them. Again, like they're just like, oh, they're toxic. Like no, you were intolerable to be around, but like they're the type of people who can't live on their own because they don't make enough, because like they don't have the drive, but they are demanding of those around them for no reason, or like just trying to flex things that aren't a flex, or flex like I'm making so much money doing this thing online, and then it's like, all right, let's check it out real quick. So you go there, you look at their profile because like they tell it to you, and it's like, all right, if you're making this much money, like why do you only have like 28 likes on your 14 posts? Like that doesn't make sense. But you just got like, all right, I'll let you have. I don't care, what how much I I have my own home, you know, I'm safe and comfortable. I don't care how much money someone else is making. I'm sorry. So it's so weird when someone even tries to flex that.
Yeah, I feel that as well. Especially because usually when people flex that sort of thing, they're exaggerating, and there's
Lying.
some gray area that they're not showing you. When people will post something like, "Oh, I, made this much money today." Did you really make that, or did a stock you invest in go up and it's valued at that, and you probably are going to lose all of that by tomorrow? It's always that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
or like they're all the like people trying to sell like weird candles and stuff from home, talk about I make money to fill my gas tank. Like, so do I, man. And like it's not variable. Like no one wants to live with a variable income unless they're on top. Otherwise, like it's very like the top 1% of everything are the ones making money, but everybody else, no, it's very variable and you can fall off at any time. And most of the time it happens like let's use OnlyFans as an example. Like I'm sure a lot of people start OnlyFans like they got their first month subscription if they got a couple people like that, but then like people are just like, "Oh, I'm not trying to pay for this every month, like boom, that's done. Like, and then like you see people on like Twitter and stuff like, oh, I'm paying for like my house on OnlyFans and stuff. Like, good luck. Good luck. You put a down payment on a house. That doesn't even make sense, but okay, because like they definitely check like your records and stuff like that. But yeah,
I don't understand how you can get approved for a mortgage on OnlyFans, because it's from my understanding that if you're a 1099 employee, which I'm assuming OnlyFans you are, because you're definitely not a W-2. You don't have a clock in, clock out sort of ordeal. I'd figure that you have to have at least a couple of years of tax returns to present that to a mortgage lender to get approved for your mortgage. So
it's all lies. It's all lies. Like all the people I've met with OnlyFans in person are just like trying to give it away for free at this point, talking about free OnlyFans. Like, nah, we're good. Like,
or my OnlyFans is 50% off. I still won't. I'll never be
yeah,
that down bad.
yeah. It's like I feel like that's almost disrespectful when someone's like, you know, talks to you first too. Like it's always weird. Like they talk to you first. Like, I'm a stripper. I do this, I do that. Like, okay, I'm not at a strip club right now. Leave me alone. Like, go away.
Yeah. I'm hoping I get in the same boat as you here in about the next month. I trying to lock down a home or condo so I can just chill and get away from everything and not be
Yeah.
concerned with other people.
Yeah, it's the best. Like it's I don't see people unless I want to see people, and I'm surrounding myself with people that I like to see who aren't just trying to get under my skin to get under my skin. Because people when they see you happy or confident, they don't like it. So there's always like
Yeah.
someone who just like I don't see you for a couple months. You're hitting me up to hang out. And then like you're mad at something that I don't even understand, and like you're just spending the whole time like trying to make jabs, make jabs, make jabs, and then eventually they just get like very overt, and it's like, can you just go home, please? Like it's weird. Like why
Yeah.
why why'd you drive across the city to talk ish, man?
Yeah, people have, I think it's called crab bucket mentality,
Yeah,
where
that for sure.
you put a bunch of crabs in the bucket, the
100.
ones on top will try to escape, the ones underneath it will grab it, pull it down. People, I don't know if it's in human nature, but people don't like seeing other people close to them succeed if they're not experiencing that success.
Yeah.
And what I try to consciously do is recognize that sort of thing and try to support those around me and be like, hey, that's great for you. Like,
Yeah, it's like
keep
there's no
going.
reason to hate on like even if like one of my favorite stories is like when I was getting a promotion in the Air Force and I was hanging out with this guy on weekends and stuff and we were super cool. Like we hang out and but like we went up for that promotion and then during that time that's when like he started like running a smear campaign on me talking ish all the time. It's like someone told me about it. It's like he was already like distancing himself from me, so I noticed something was weird, but then like they told me like, yeah, when you're not here he's always just like talking about you or whatever, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I ended up like getting the promotion because like he you know everybody sees how you act, like, and he was like bringing up his little package every day at work. There's no reason to do that, and he just wasn't being humble about it. It's the same thing with my airman leadership school. We started like day one, and people laughing at jokes, fake and stuff, like just like doing the most. I ended up getting distinguished graduate in there too because uh, I play the game the right way. You got to do stuff for the collective. So like I threw a party for the people, and I was always like able to answer questions and stuff and not be, if you have no ego, you're a better leader than the person who's like trying way too hard, you know. So it's like you got to get rid of the ego, and I think that's a lot of people that their ego is very much so challenged by number one, you doing better than them, and number two, you not being affected by what they say or do. So like if like they start saying things to you, whatever, and you just kind of just ignore it and stuff, like and then have you ever noticed where like sometimes they'll just like get worse and worse and worse with it, and it's just like, all right, man, like that's just like you're just trying to offend at this point, like it's not funny. It's just like you really just had to get that off your chest. Okay, then deuces. I'll see you later.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that even if you're working and like you are doing better than your coworkers, they're most of the time they're not going to be like, "Oh man, you're crushing it, keep going." They're going to, kind of be like, "Oh, I don't like this guy for this and
Yeah,
that reason." So, yeah, it's but it's good that you recognize that sort of thing, and I think
yeah,
more people need to actually take that initiative, recognize it, realize that it's toxic to hate someone for doing their own thing and being successful on their own. Like, you see what you're lacking in other people, and you're projecting your own
yeah.
insecurities onto them.
A lot of people they only see the now too. They see like what you are now, but they don't see the struggle that you went through or the
Not at
work that
all.
you did to get to where you are, and they just see you now and they're like, oh, like you must have had this opportunity or that opportunity, or parents must have been rich. Like, no, man, like it was just hard work and determination. Like I downplay it sometimes, like the hard work, but sometimes you gotta like, it's like I've had several people, like I tell them like a little bit what I do, and they're like, is your job hiring? Like that's super disrespectful. Like is your job hiring? Like, dude, I've been in a specialized career field for 8 years and like have several degrees, certifications, all that. But you think like you can just walk in off the street? Like that's, come on.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. A lot of people don't realize, even with my job, I'll have people ask me, how do you get into that sort of career, or what do you do for work? And I'll be blunt with them, be like, my job's not easy. It's stressful. It sucks. Most people don't want to do it. Um, it's a numbers game. You get told no a lot. You want to pull your hair out sometimes. But if you can put up with all that, then yeah, you'll you'll make pretty good money doing it. And not everyone is ready for that sort of struggle. Not everyone's ready to, put in those years of work and knowledge and expertise and just never give up. So
Yeah, I don't like answering the question of like what you do for work. 'Cause it's just annoying, and it's like doesn't really matter because like doesn't matter. It doesn't pertain to the conversation right now, and like unless, well, there's really no way I could collaborate with those people anyway. So it's like there's like nothing. I don't do anything for work. I feel like I had another point, but like yeah, it's so weird when someone thinks that, so those are the type of people that you have a conversation with them, and then that's the end of it. Like I went to like that accelerated college or whatever, and so many people would come and like talk to me about it. Like, can you walk me through like what it's about and stuff? And I take like 5 to 10 minutes with them, talk about it, and then like they just, can you talk to me about it again? Like you just want to, like they just want someone to sell them a dream, but they don't want to do the work. Like it's not a dream if you make it a reality, but they want someone to sell them a dream. And like I still know people who I talk to about like 3 years ago, and like they haven't started yet. And they'll, if they ever catch me again, they'll be like, hey, can you tell me? Like, no, leave me alone. Like, it wastes my time. And like people talk about things that like they want to do, but they don't do anything towards. Like, you talk about the goals and stuff, and then it's like, okay, it's cool to have a goal, but if you have the same goal 6 months down the line and you've done nothing since then, that's embarrassing, and like I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like I can't have these conversations anymore with people who aren't doing anything to help themselves.
Yeah, you got to get a new goal at that point.
Yeah.
And then one thing that really irks me is people having no goals or ambitions or passions outside of their work. Like their corporate job is their life.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
mean I guess that's been the way for like, a long time though. Like dudes work at the factories back in the day. That was what they did. They hung out with their factory boys, went home to their family, and they're, quiet. Like that's fine because like society needs to chug along. So there are people like that who are just kind of that boring, and I don't care about that. Some people want to work at the same job for 40 years, and that's whatever. It's the people who like uh will be like, no, you can't leave this job for this or that. Like I was leaving McDonald's in high school, people were like trying to talk me out of leaving McDonald's. It's just like crabs in a barrel.
Yeah, man. I personally I don't think that humans were put on this earth to work a 9 to 5. Um Not that I'm trying to get too political or anything, but I feel like uh there's more to life than just working. And if people want to work, okay, that you should have that choice to. You shouldn't be forced into that sort of thing. Um, because I feel like that just breeds toxicity. Because ultimately, what you're doing is when you're working a lot of these jobs, you're making money for the person above you,
Yeah,
and
but I
that person's
mean,
making a person above them.
as a
So
man, you need money or else you're not gonna like no one's gonna save a man. You need resources as a man, and work is like getting you resources because like there's no systems for men. There's no homeless shelters exclusively for men. Like men are like if they don't make enough money to live, they're gonna be sleeping on the street. I think we're gonna see a lot of either homeless dudes here and soon in the next 10, 20 years, or like dudes just like trying to pack into the same houses and stuff. But yeah, like a lot of them aren't working hard enough. Like I will work harder. I worked 2 jobs back in the day, and it sucked, but I had a little fun money. I had money to pay the bills too. Like, and that's how it should be. Like, you need your leisure time. So like if that's you, playing video games or whatever, yeah, that's you're being a man of leisure right there. There's nothing better than seeing a man at leisure. But like if you're not working hard enough and then like you want to like don't want to work, you get everything that's gonna come to you.
yeah,
We're in
no,
competition.
I agree though. You do need to work hard, make money, that sort of thing. But I mean, do you really want to spend your entire life making money for someone else? Because
No,
that's
that's what we're
essentially,
doing right now. We're trying to get our bands up, but I mean,
I
w-
think that should be the dream of every person. Every person should have that goal. Like you are not put on this earth to serve someone else.
well, do you want more competition?
Competition is how society grows.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
read
saying.
this.
Like,
I
I'm
read this in a
competing right
book.
now.
Yeah, I read this in a book of before I moved out to Colorado. Jordan Peterson put out a book called The 12 Rules of Life. Um, and he basically delved into a couple of chapters. The way that we have got to where we are today from a technology standpoint, um, the industrial revolution, all these different things came from competing. Because when we wake up in the morning, nothing is fair in the world. We have to strive as a society to do better, to do more. And if you look around at just about anything, architecture, automobiles, all this was is here because of competition,
Yeah,
because of progression in society. So yes, bring on more competition. Competition is a good thing.
there's
No one should be scared of
attention
competition.
competition nowadays. It's super weird. Like, and who's making money off the attention competition? Anybody who's selling merch or anything like that. I saw we were hiking today and this lady was walking with her little dog because like a lot of people have dogs now, and her shirt said like I was crazier or I wasn't as crazy for had a Yorkshire Terrier. Like, dang, you needed to have a shirt for having the dog that you have. Like people will just notice that you have the dog. Like, why do you need a shirt of it? But like, yeah, like merch is the thing, man. Like if you have any big big push of anything, you sell some t-shirts, a hat, and people will buy it. They'll flex you.
Well, that is a great business idea. We need to start getting some merch once we get a little bit more
Yeah,
listeners.
some kitty shirts, some Lil Xan shirts.
Yeah, exactly. Do we gotta start with the kitty shirts? What you getting into?
Yeah, cats. Yeah, I don't. Cats smell like pistachios, bro.
I have a cat calendar in my apartment. I don't know if you noticed it when you were here, but
Nah, I was too busy getting in them cheeks.
I got you. Well, yeah, I'm hoping to move out of this place. Give me a little some, chill at home, make
Yeah,
beats all day.
let me come over and hang out in Denver again and get yelled at by washed people. So that's the thing is like you think your early 20s or like I talked to someone who was like, I'm taking my whole 20s for myself. Like, that's not good. Because then you're gonna be trying to play catch up in your 30s and you're not gonna have the same energy, not gonna have the
Was this a
same time.
man or woman that you
It's
had
a
this
woman.
conversation with? Okay. Yeah, she's gonna spend her 30s washed, already hit the wall, trying to justify her looks and behavior, and no one's gonna want her because she's old and washed at that point. So
Yeah, it's always the behavior too. It's like, you know, if they haven't had a long-term relationship ever, it's the behavior. And it's like, okay, no one wanted to stay with you. What are you not learning? It's not one day the right person's come along. Like if you haven't had the right person yet by like 25 that stayed with you for longer than 6 months, then like yeah, you got some issues, buddy.
way to be brutally honest about it.
I mean, she's like there are people who really can't hold anyone down. And it's like you're actually trying to, you're actually looking for it. Like, I want a boyfriend, I want whatever. Like,
Yeah,
well,
they ain't ready for the work that has to be put in for a
yeah,
relationship. I mean, you got to have some sacrifice on your end, and people are entitled. They ain't ready for that.
yeah, and it's always the ones who like want to slide way out of their league, and then their first thing is I want a boyfriend. Like, nah, you gotta actually date first and see if like you want to like be in a relationship, but like you're just like, saying it up front. So like anybody who deals with you has to deal with like all your weird. There's a TED talk that I saw on YouTube or whatever where this lady was like 31 and she went through like a list of I think 22 items she required in a man. And it's like,
Oh my god,
yeah, that was a
what?
5-year-old tech talk and she's still single. Like, yeah, it's like you require too much. Like, you probably only get like 80% of what you actually want in a relationship, number one. So like you
Hmm.
gotta like, I think a lot of men settle too. So well, a lot of men will settle. Like,
Yeah,
but on the other side, like there's not too much settling done. They want you to be already up here and accept them for what they are and what they've done in the past and all that. And it's like I can't, man.
no,
Like single mothers, like I think a lot of people are starting to like in the spaces that I like read about and stuff. Like a lot of people are starting to, because like a lot of us have had experiences with single mothers and it wasn't good. Like it hasn't like try to give them a chance and the respect of it, but it's like dang, like this is
what
intense,
are
man.
what are they truly bringing to the relationship other than another man's child?
Yeah, that and then like their attitude and uh they have that diva energy where it's like, oh, I'm so strong, I'm so this, I'm so that. And it's like, nah, man, like I'm still not supporting your child because of it, especially like with the way relationships go today. Like I would understand, like, because I knew a lot of people with stepdads back in school and stuff, and like that was it was normal to me because like the stepdads never got divorced and stuff. But in this day and age, like, yeah, you take a hit twice by taking care of someone's kid, then getting a divorce. Like, yeah, it can't be me.
I'm thinking that a lot of these stepdads probably had step parents themselves, so that's just kind of the family that they're used to. So when they grow older, they're like, oh, a woman with a kid. Well, my mom was single and I was her kid when she met my
Yeah,
stepdad. So that the cycle just sort of repeats. But, you know, for other people like you and I mean, dating a single mom just doesn't seem appealing. Sorry to put
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like I've had my fair share of experiences with it. I'm like, yeah, no, you got yourself here for a reason. And like the one was like super weird because like she was like she tried to move into my house like very quickly. Like it was just like, no,
Mm.
no. Like, and she wasn't like a savory character either. So it's like, yeah, I don't know who the heck you try to brain my house, anything like that. It's like a weird suggestion, but again, like there's just weird stuff going on where people are just trying to, get people to accept them and then like still perpetrate bad behavior. Like within, if they let you in their house or whatever, like someone commented on something, if someone lives in your house for more than 3 days, they need to give you 30-day notice. And like, who would want to make an interaction that toxic to where like they're staying in your house? And there's like people on these pages like we can pay this much weekly, like why can't you pay it monthly? Why can't you hold that money for a month and pay it on the first? Like that's already an issue.
Yeah, that's mad sketch. Maybe it's those people are getting like social security income or government assistance, and that could be
Still
it.
no, it's not worth it, not worth it. Like I'm looking for like a professional person who has like a professional job. That's hard to find nowadays. Like people are like, nah, I'd rather just be a burnout.
Didn't I tell you that you when you are looking for a roommate, have them send you their LinkedIn profile so you can actually see if they're legitimately working at a company and have like some education or background.
I saw this one where this guy posted like his 2 bedroom apartment. He was like, "Hey, like I go to sleep early, like no loudness after like a certain time." And people are like seriously mad. They're like grown adults, like seriously mad. Like, yeah, that's have you never lived with roommates before to where like that's not a thing to you? Where it's like if they're sleeping, like you don't bring people over. Like, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's so odd out here.
Yeah, it's very odd. People, it's that entitlement you were referring to earlier. They don't think that applies to them for some reason.
It's like, no, I learned my lesson when I let someone bring some people over and they're like, oh, so only 2 more people are coming over, and then like 5 people showed up and it's like, you can't do this again. Then like, and it's like every time it's like, oh, I didn't know. Well, it was up to you to know. I gave you that delegation. Like if 3 people come here, no other people, so that's up to you to know. But I that's not an excuse, like just it's annoying. It's been weird, trying to simulate to civilian culture and everything like that because in the military we would live together, and if someone didn't pay rent, like it came out like you got like the basic assistance for housing and your paycheck. So you go tell their first sergeant, even though we never had to do it, like it was known that like we could make sure that it got paid, So like we always dealt with that, and we had that underlying thing. But now I keep hearing people like try and like be friends with you, be friends with them. Like, so can I move in your house for free? No, like I don't even like tell people how many bedrooms I have because it's always weird. They're like, how many bedrooms is this? And I'll just sit there and stare for a second. And then sometimes I'll ask if I need to room it. Sometimes I'll let it go. But it's just like you just met me. You're trying to move into my house. Like that's weird.
That is extremely odd. I'm gonna have to become wary of that when I buy my place. Like if someone
Yeah.
asks me if they want to move in, I'm just gonna be like, no. Like
Yeah.
what kind of icebreaker is that? Like we just met and you already want to move in? Like slow her down here.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a weird thing. It's like, and then like they'll be posting like, "Hey, I need to be out of my place immediately. Like it's a bad situation. Like who the heck do you think I am? Like Captain Save a Bum? Like I can't let you move into my house like quickly." Oh, one was like, oh my lord, this one was like this person listed like four disparaging things about themselves, but they said like their parents are abusive, but also like the house needs to accept this, that, and do this and that. Like they're looking for the room, but they're like, it needs to have these things. And it's like, no, like you cannot make demands of someone Like, get your own apartment then. Like, if you want to make demands like that, or what people can do in their own home that they're renting out to you, like you can do whatever in the room that you're renting out. Everything else is just like shut the hell up. Like, get the hell on somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That I don't understand the audacity of some of these people.
Yeah, the audacity, man. Like all these like little Twitter things that they see blips or like I'm not toxic, they're toxic. Like, nah, it's usually you. And like that's why the life that you have is like the results that you have is because like the weird thing is like abusive parents, I gotta move out. Like, how old are you? Like you should have been moved out like 18, number one. So it's like anything above 18 that they let you like, live and stay, and like they're probably just asking like, what you're doing with your life or whatever. And that makes them abusive. It's like, okay, that really doesn't, but all right.
Yeah, I don't know. People are just immature, that sort of thing. And I don't, I hope to God I never run into someone who's like, oh, it's an emergency, you have to get out. Like, what kind of situation did you get yourself? Why would I want to get involved in that
Yeah,
sort of thing
like
if you find
yeah.
yourself in those sort of positions?
Because
I mean,
like they're gonna always like say like my thing is like for the guy I almost ran into, I was like, I don't like a lot of people here. Like I'll have people over here and there, but like it's not a spot where you just come and sit here and watch TV every day, type of deal. Like, no, like I got things to do. I can't have just random people in my house. Like, oh, I won't disrespect your house. But then like he wasn't, being truthful about other things, and like, yeah, no, I don't even trust you, man. Like, because like they'll say anything to get in, and then it's very hard to get them out, especially if they're like, you know, crazy like that.
yeah. And I mean, what kind of legal recourse do you have at that point? I mean, like, if you get a roommate, do you do a background check? Do you get law enforcement involved if they're still at your house and you can't get them out? I mean, that sounds like a headache and a half.
I had a friend who she said her roommate, first of all, she let a lady move into her two-bedroom apartment. Like she's in one bedroom and the roommate's in the other one with her 7-year-old kid. So she lives in a one bedroom with her 7-year-old kid. And then like the kid doesn't go to school. And like I guess she beats the kid or whatever. And then like the other girl was just like, I had to tell her like if she doesn't pay rent, I'm gonna call the cops on her or whatever. And like the lady just cried or whatever and said she'd stop doing it, but it's like, no, she's not gonna stop. Like that's how she is. And like someone who's willing to live in a one bedroom apartment with their 7-year-old kid, and like, or sorry, one bedroom of apartment, like that deep in the trenches, and still be like buying weed and stuff and whatever else. Like, no, like you're spending something you shouldn't be spending your money on. Like if you don't have like the proper housing stuff, you should not be doing all that.
That's
Single
scary and
motherhood, man.
ridiculous. Scary and ridiculous. I mean, I hope I don't associate myself with any person like that. Like, I'm afraid of going outside nowadays. You know.
Yeah, man. Like it's rough out there. It's like if you're doing well for yourself, like people are always just, they'll catch on to it, and like they can't add anything to my life. So they just like try and like, ask me for things, whatever. Like I'm walking outside the barber shop and like this lady's out there is like, excuse me, can I ask you something? Like, no, you can't ask me anything. Like I don't, because it's just gonna be for money, and like I'm not stopping. Like I'm done. Like I don't want to deal with that.
Oh, that reminds me. Like yesterday, as when I was walking with those people I met from California last night, when I was walking with those people I met from California, some random guy with like a European accent was just like, "Hey guys, you want to take a picture?" And we're just like, "No, like we're trying to go home. Like it's midnight. We're all cold. Like, why are you asking for a picture?" And I don't know what other creepy stuff he was going to do after that. I
Did he
mean, I
have
don't
a
know.
camera?
I think he had an iPhone.
Yeah, I had a guy who we were in a bar, and like he would not stop taking pictures of us. And then like he just babbling about his photography. I'm like, bro, like how much do you want? Like, and like he's like, Venmo me a couple dollars. I Venmoed him $3. He left us alone. But it was like, bro, like, geez, man, like I didn't even want the pictures. Like they were decent, but I was like, I didn't ask that dude to take them. And it's just like, all right, you're wasting my time by talking to me, and like $3 is enough to get you to go away, then whatever.
Yeah, and speaking of which, when I was in the Uber ride back, two of the people from California mentioned something about, and I guess this is a little bit more common in Europe. I don't know about the United States, but apparently people, if you'll be out in public, they'll pretend like they're taking a selfie. If you're standing behind them, they'll actually zoom in and like take your picture. Like, have you ever heard of that before?
No, I've seen I don't know, like maybe if they're trying to like traffic somebody or something like that. I don't know. Otherwise,
Maybe
like that
that's what
doesn't
it
make
is.
sense.
Maybe that's what it is. Wow, that's actually quite terrifying.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen like some of the scams overseas are like they'll like try and put something on your wrist or something like that and hold you or like give you the mixtape, like things like that. You just never stop for people who are trying to hand you things. They try to put it in your hands and then like try and like grab your costumes. Like, no, like as an man, I hate traveling with people overseas. They're so stupid. Like, or like when we were in New Orleans, like I'm just like my friend got like stopped like 2 times. Like, bro, why do you keep stopping? Like, there is nothing these people can add to your life. It's not like they're like, hey, this is a good party. Like, look at them, look at them, and look at yourself. And like, are they gonna take you mirror? Like, no. Like, just keep walking and don't stop. Like, easy.
yeah, I had an experience like that 2 years ago. I was downtown going to work. I just got off the train, and some monk looking guy, he had one of those elaborate robes on. Like, he tried to give me a bracelet, and I was like, dude, get away from me. Like, I just woke up. I'm trying to get to work. Like, I don't want a freaking bracelet. Because, and I actually read about this later on. Apparently, what they do is they put this bracelet on you and they demand money for it. And apparently, like, to get this thing off, you have to like rip and tear in it because it's made out of some like high quality wire. So you have to like get wire cutters to actually get it off. And they'll be saying like, no, you off my bracelets, $20 or whatever. And so yeah, I try to avoid people. Like,
Yeah,
even when
no.
I'm out like walking on from a bar, someone's like, hey, excuse me, get away from me. Like, no, unacceptable.
Yeah, I learned my lesson when we first moved to Vegas, and like we were with these people, and they took pictures with this person in a dirty Garfield outfit, and then the Garfield was like, I take tips, I take 20s, I take like to take a picture, and that's exactly how it is. Like they just are trying to get anything from you. Like you
Yeah.
start high, so they're like, I got $1, here you go. Like no, like leave me alone. All the like people, the showgirls and stuff, like I am not interested. But that's as you say, sales. Like it's a numbers game, so they're just doing their thing. Just like the shoe dudes at the mall. Like my lord, I hate those guys so much, but they chase me down every time. Like some of them will leave you alone, but some of them will just like walk beside you and like they're still not talking loud. They're mumbling and stuff. So it's just super weird to have a guy like mumbling and then following you around. So you're just like, what? Like, get on somewhere.
Yeah, at that point, I just start going into a light jog. Hopefully, no one's in my way. So that way, if they're actually running beside me, man, they're dedicated. I might turn out and have a conversation. But usually, if you just jolt away, they'll leave you alone.
I'd be bringing out my phone and just like, yeah, I'm at the mall right now, but I should be there in a little bit. I ain't know. I just be saying stuff like that, just like walking by them, and then like they think like, okay,
So
I'm
the
not gonna bother that guy.
so the very first time I went to the Bahamas in 2016, as soon as I got off one of the islands, I was bombarded with people like, "Hey, what are you doing today? Trying to get around or trying to go here, here, and here?" And I was like, yo, no." And I was with my family, and so they told me, they were like, "Just keep walking."
Yeah, you got to like it's not even offensive. That's what they do, and they look. I mean, look in the movie Aladdin. They just do that, like, and you gotta like know that like there's no reason to stop. Like, you're not gonna just find like your next great adventure in the middle of the dang street. So like, just keep walking to whatever your destination was.
Yeah, absolutely. So I need to do some more traveling now that I have been injected with the 5G microchips.
You need to travel to the amphitheater and get your pride back.
I'm gonna go actually. Diplo is gonna be there this week. I'm gonna check out some of the other concerts. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back. I'm gonna drive myself, so that way I don't have to pay for. I mean, I have to pay for gas, but my Subaru gets good MPGs, so no worry there. Yeah, you know, I'm down. I'm gonna go back to Red Rocks Amphitheater, get my pride back. tell whoever I'm with the story about the last time I was here, and hopefully that'll be the end of it, and I can forget about this ever happening. This terrible, terrible experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to a minor league baseball game and maybe I'll meet some minor league baseball fan friends because it's a Golden Knight city, like this is a hockey city, but I'm trying to become a big fan of the minor league baseball team.
Who is Las Vegas's major league affiliate? Do you know? I can look it up if you don't know.
The Oakland A's.
Oakland A's. Okay, so I don't know anyone upcoming in the Oakland A's, but A's have a decent team. Marcus Simeon is their best player. Um, you know, so it's pretty cool because watching some of the guys in the AAA, you'll actually see like future MVPs and all that. I saw Andrew McCutcheon, 2013 MVP, now plays on the Philadelphia Phillies. Dude's a baller. I saw him play before he even got big, and I think that's pretty cool. Same thing with a couple other plays as well, but you know, that's
I'm
kind
not
of
gonna
the
remember any of their names. I promise you that.
man. If you see a player with much swag as Fernando Tatis Jr., you'll remember.
I need to get off that man and his yellow hair.
He's a beast. I mean, he's the type of guy, he'll be up 7-0, full 3 balls on him, bases loaded. The pitcher just tries to throw a strike and he just crushes it.
No, I
Just
saw the video.
rubs salt into the wound.
He wasn't supposed to hit that grand slam, and he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an unwritten rule. It's kind of disrespectful, but at the same time, I mean, like, if you're gonna serve up a meatball, someone's gonna eat it. Always.
I got a meatball for you. All right, let's hit our closing thoughts because we've been on for about 2 hours, and I have to go wash my pug.
So, closing thoughts. Don't trust your coworkers ever. They are not your friends. They are just people that you have to affiliate yourself with 40 plus hours a week. And when you go out, delve into fashion a little bit more. I think, it's going to be city boy summer, not just white boy summer. So let's get it.
Yeah, Bill Gates is back out in these streets for my closing thoughts. So is Jeff Bezos. Everybody's getting divorced, no matter how rich you are. They getting left out here. So, keep it tight, keep your game tight, don't trust very many people. You really can't nowadays. And they'll try and
Oh, no.
justify why you think like or why they did what they did, but be ready to cut people off who need to be cut off and keep your happiness and your
Amen.
stoicism.
Amen. In the words of Lil Wayne, had to cut him off like a circumcision. Wheezy.
Yes, sir. Shout out Lil Wayne, and we are out of here.